Welcome back to Thailand. And thank you so much for tuning in and joining us here at the virtual Phuket Cleanse online edition. Well, anyway, last week was a great week. We did some interesting things with the sirtuin talk and the rejuvenation, anti-aging talk and immunity. It was super fun. And we had a lot of people comment on it. So if you didn't see that, really you may want to take a look or write to us and ask us for that. I think you really like it. And this week we are doing something that is super interesting and I believe cutting edge, and you won't know it until you dig deep into it. And then you will understand the cutting edge when you're deep into it. And that's breathwork and fitness. And I had discovered breathwork and fitness. I was having a day off one day. One day I just knew I had to take a day off. I just had to do it, kind of call in sick. And then this really famous coach popped up into my YouTube feed. And he was a coach to lots of superstar athletes like Michael Jordan or all kinds of legends throughout my history. And even currently, he's 65 now, but he's still currently coaching lots and lots of legends. He travels all over the world because he has lots of techniques that just really take these legends to the other side of their sport. Like the legends here and he takes them there. And he's just a master coach. He's a coach's coach. And so he was talking about his techniques, and breath work is one of his most important tools, if not his most important tools. And he really said that it should be a tool for every personal trainer. Every personal trainer needs to dip into this, because when you don't, you first sacrifice performance if you're not breathing appropriately. And you also sacrifice safety on many levels. Both potentially getting injured, but systemically in terms of it's a lot of wear and tear to your body and to your hormones if you're not breathing appropriately in a workout. So I was just really fascinated that this was the secret of the masters, and I decided, well, we got to bring this to Phuket Cleanse. So we studied everything we could, and the trainers studied everything they could, and we got this thing now. And so some of you might have joined us when we were doing breathwork for fitness. And if not, you're lucky today because you can do it from the privacy of your own home, I'm sure. So what I want to tell you first is one little example I want to give you of a jiu-jitsu fighter who actually really practices it. So if you know anything about jiu-jitsu, jiu-jitsu is a combination of karate and wrestling. So some wrestlers went to Japan, studied karate, and decided to mix it all together into this sport we call jiu-jitsu. And what's interesting about that is wrestling, I don't believe, has any of those martial arts techniques such as breath work and gathering energy like the Asian martial arts do, but jiu-jitsu has it. And they really focus on really interesting breathing techniques. Now, we're not going to do jiu-jitsu today. We have a great breathwork workout for you guys to do today, but I thought I'd inspire you with one of the world's most famous historical badasses, and this is Rickson Gracie, a jiu-jitsu fighter. I thought we'd just watch his workout, and I might pause a little bit along the way, pointing out a few things that he's doing. So here we go. Okay.
I feel myself as an artist. I like to do things because it's beautiful, it's intense, it's edge, you know, it's action, it's love. I like put my energy in life and intensity.
Now, I'd like to point out, if you notice, his mouth remains closed. He's doing some intense breathing through his nose. He's kind of doing a fast-paced breath, but notice it's all through his nose, and he's trying to take as much oxygen through his nose, and his nostrils are flared. So that's what's going to happen, that you might have a desire to open your mouth and gasp and take in more energy. But if you actually can really work on breathing through the nostrils to the best of your ability, and work in, you know, no one's looking, you can flare your nostrils as he is, because there's an aspect of learning to breathe in fitness that's called nostril development, in which you develop your nostrils ability, you open them up more, you flare them more so that you can take more breath through the nose. Taking breath through the nose is really a key in breathwork for fitness. Eventually, you'll have to open your mouth when you get really heavy into a workout, but you want to stay in the nose as long as possible.
Without jiu-jitsu, it's worse than cut my 2 legs. It's gonna be all my philosophy, all my values. So it's hard to understand myself without jiu-jitsu. It's my time to do something important. You know, after so much training, after so much work, after so much effort, it's like a very interesting feeling when you feel yourself in your time to be capable to expose yourself in a way to fight and compete.
Back up
Be capable to,
because I want you to see that.
It's like a very
just puffing out the air. That's very interesting. That's called a CO2 flush. And it's just important in breathing to your exhale. Actually becomes extremely important as your workout is getting a little more challenging and you're creating a lot of metabolic waste. It's important to expel that through expelling your CO2. So either you can do a heavy burst exhale, or you can do like he's doing a, and he was really famous for that kind of, it's sort of a rhythmic exhale. And I find it's quite calming. And it also really, really focuses you on getting the CO2 out. So that's just something for you to consider practicing that.
Interesting feeling when you feel yourself in your time to be capable to expose yourself in a way to fight and compete. That's not means a victory or defeat or anything, but just be able to do it, you know. I'm very into the physical, the body as a machine. As a machine we need really take care of, you know. So I try beside a fighter, I try keep my physical very smooth, as and a combination where I can be very flexible, very strong, very fast, very well coordinated, with a good balance, with a good breathing. So those elements I try combine. Sometimes when I make my routines, I get in a very special stage of meditation. And this is beautiful because I'm able to exercise and totally clean my mind and keep myself in the present moment. When you control your breath, you can actually control yourself mentally and physically. You can really understand your fears and your emotional stress.
So today what we're going to do is give you just a basic briefing on, there's some music playing here. Let me stop that. Okay, so let's look at the PDF here that we have. So this is called the gear system. You're going to see this in a moment. We're going to show you this visual. And yes, so today you're going to do a workout with Chris, which is super exciting because you'll be able to apply this right away. So I want to talk you through the very basic technique. Now, there are many, many ways to do breath work in your fitness. As you see, he was all over the place. Sometimes he was breathing really fast and he was doing, and he knows what technique to apply when it's the right time. But for people getting started, this technique is a really good basic foundational program. So basically when you start in the early stages of your workout, when you're starting your workout, or you're starting to do, say, a 30-second round or a minute round of, say, if you're doing Tabata or high intensity interval training, you're going to start your workout going nasal in, nasal out. So think of the gear system like gears of a car in a stick shift. So you're in first gear, you know, your body's not tired, you haven't created much metabolic waste, you're just getting going. And so you're just doing a steady breath, nasal in, nasal out. So it's and you're just very mindful. And what's happening, this to me is one of the most important times, because you're starting to activate what's called the parasympathetic nervous system. So typically when we're in a workout, we're in a high intensity workout, we're in fight or flight, and you're chest breathing, it's panic breathing, it's chest breathing. And so you're in fight or flight, and that's where you're activating the sympathetic nervous system. And most of the time when people are training, they stay in the sympathetic nervous system. They're sympathetic dominant. But we want to put them in the parasympathetic nervous system, that nervous system that you're in when you're meditating or you're relaxed or you're doing your favorite hobby. And probably a lot of us are spending a good amount of time in the parasympathetic nervous system as we're hanging out all day these days during the quarantine and just kind of relaxed and chilled. We've lived in a sympathetic dominant world. And the real gift of this quarantine is we're probably spending a lot more time in the parasympathetic nervous system because we're not in a hurry. We're not trying to get a million things done. There's fear and anxiety, but probably that is one of the gifts, is being in the parasympathetic nervous system most of the time. But what's great is that this starts your workout. This starts your round. If you're doing a round and you're nasal in, nasal out. Imagine you're just starting, you're training, you're jumping, you're running, whatever you're doing. And it's slow and steady. It's between you and you. It's like a meditation. You're slowing and relaxing the whole system as as the intensity and the challenge picks up. So as the challenge to you picks up, because maybe you're going longer, you're more further into this round, or you're further into your workout, you move into gear 2, and suddenly you have a need for more oxygen. So then it's, and notice this is a super ventilation inhale through the nose. Mouth is closed. You're doing a super ventilation inhale through the nose. And why that's important is you're needing more energy. And just by going power inhale through the nose, you're taking more energy into the body and you're expelling just a little bit, but you're powering up. So I'd like you to think of second gear as a time in which you're powering up, because you know soon your workout's going to get harder. Your body's going to need more energy. And at that point, you'll have those reserves because in second gear, you've been powering up. Third gear is called the bellows breath, the working bellows breath. So if you think of those things that you use to stoke a fire, the bellows, that's the gut, the lower part of the body stoking the fire, breathing in, breathing out. So it's power nasal in and power nasal out. But using the lower half of your body, not the upper half of your body, the lower half of your body to be that bellows. So power nasal in, power nasal out. Still very mindful, deep in a workout. You're challenged now, but that bellows is powering you up, bringing in lots of energy and exhaling that carbon dioxide, that metabolic waste. So then you're in gear 4. Gear 4 is where you're going to probably spend a good amount of the workout, especially today. If you're doing high intensity workout, you're very, very often in gear 4. And at this point, it's nasal in and mouth out. But it's super ventilation, exhale. Because at that point, you are creating a lot of metabolic waste, and it's really good to get that carbon dioxide out. So it's so at this point, releasing carbon dioxide almost becomes more important than taking energy in through the nose. And then when you're in 5th gear, you're at the peak of the workout, when you're supremely challenged and you're almost about to finish the round because you're at the peak. And that's now you're mouth in, mouth out, still only working the lower half of the body. Still working only the lower half, but mouth in, mouth out, but very controlled, not. And usually that's when you have to stop because you've peaked at this point. And then when you catch your breath, it's in the recovery between sets. That's when the magic happens, and that's when everybody's wasting time, high five and yap, and oh my God, I can't believe I did that, high five. And they're all over the place. This is when you want to regain it all. So you've just peaked and you're still mouth, taking in as much air, expelling the carbon dioxide. Remember, when you watched Ricks and Gracie, his recovery was very interesting. He was notice he wasn't wasting time. He was taking his pulse, watching his heart rate go down, but he took that recovery breath very seriously. He had just sprinted up the stairs and he was now you can try that. It's very meditative, but he's really focusing on that CO2 flush, exhaling the metabolic waste, still recovering. So maybe you try that as a recovery breath. That's a really good recovery breath. And I like the rhythmic nature of because it keeps you mindful. You can't forget. If you're not, if you know it, you might forget if you're like, oh, I'm just going to walk around and recover and just talk to people and whatever. But if you're in that rhythm, it keeps you mindful of your recovery breath. So I really love that for recovery breath. And I noticed, back to the trainer, the super trainer I was talking about, he has everybody doing that in the recovery breath. That is the recovery breath. So that's the recovery breath of the masters. So give it a try today and you'll see your recovery breath is going to really serve you well. And then you'll be able to hit that next round really hard. So that's it. And this is exciting because now you're going to be able to give it a try with Chris in this high intensity interval training video at home.
Hey guys, thanks for joining me for a bit of a HIIT workout where we're going to put in place the gear system that Mel was talking about. I'm going to quickly go through the 5 movements and how they relate to the gear system. Predominantly with your high intensity exercise, you're going to spend most of your time in gear 4, nose in, mouth out, trying to get yourself back down to gear 3 in the recovery. So I'll quickly take you through those whilst you're getting set up. You're going to need some water, towel and a bit of space, maybe a mat if you've got one. So I'll take you through those 5 exercises just now. I'll throw up the workout schedule for you, then we'll get into a warm-up, and then I'll hand you back over to Mel for a bit of a cool down. Let's get into it. Hey guys, thanks for joining me for a bit of a HIIT workout where we're going to put in place the gear system that Mel was talking about. I'm going to quickly go through the 5 movements and how they relate to the gear system. Predominantly with your high intensity exercise, you're going to spend most of your time in gear 4, nose in, mouth out, trying to get yourself back down to gear 3 in the recovery. So I'll quickly take you through those whilst you're getting set up. You're going to need some water, towel and a bit of space, maybe a mat if you've got one. So I'll take you through those 5 exercises just now. I'll throw up the workout schedule for you, then we'll get into a warm-up, and then I'll hand you back over to Mel for a bit of a cool down. Let's get into it. All right, jump jacks, guys. Basically, as you get into the exercise, the fatigue starts building up, nose in, nose out, and eventually you'll work your way up to gear 4. So what I want you to do with gear 4, which is nose in, mouth out, is basically nose in when the arms come down and mouth out when the arms go up. Nose in, mouth out, nose in, mouth out. Mountain climbers. Okay, so basically just alternate the knees. So when one knee comes up, breathe in through the nose. When the other knee comes up, breathe out through the mouth. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Obviously still continuing on in gear 4. You may be able to do it in gear 3, but as fatigue kicks in up to gear 4, and I promise you pulse squats will probably get you to gear 4 in no time. So basically nose in on the way down, mouth out when you come up. So nose in, mouth out, nose in, mouth out. Keep supplying the body with what it needs. That one's a tough one, so keep pushing through. Shuffle punches hopefully allows you to get your breath back in between the pulse squats and the burpees, but basically alternating nose in, mouth out with the punches, okay? And then on the way back, 2 nose in, 1 mouth out. Nose in, mouth out. Nose in, mouth out. Then on to the 3 push-up burpees. Okay, guys, 2 parts to this. Basically, your push-ups are going to be in on the way down, out on the way up. So nose in, mouth out. And then as you come up, when the knees come in, nose in and mouth out when you bounce up. Okay, so nose in, mouth out. Righto, shake it out, guys. Get yourself sorted. We got wrists around, get ready to go. Alright, you ready? Righto, let's get into it. We're going to start with some boxer skips. Righto, arms out to the side, get them out wide, small circles, guys. Get those shoulders rotating. Well done, keep it up, keep it up. Bounce from side to side, get that little skip happening. Good work, guys, well done. That's it, keep it up. Good work. Hold in there, keep bouncing, get warmed up. Righto, we're going to get into some split skips now, guys. Back and forward, get those arms moving as well. Righto, arms up and down, get those shoulders warmed up. Good work. That's it, in and out now. Side to side. Good work. We're going to go back to up and down in a sec. Well done. Very good. In and out again. Well done, guys. Good work. Righto, and we're going to go into some plyo lunges, guys. You're going to step back and drive the knee up. That's it. Beautiful. Righto, we're going to do 10 on each side. Don't forget to breathe as well. Keep breathing. In through the nose, out through the nose. Very good. Awesome. Keep it up. Just get warmed up. And I lost count. Yeah, moving right along. Righto, guys, some walkouts. And then just unfold, reaching up to the sky on both sides. 3 of these. Walk back in. Stand upright. Bend over again. Walk it out. Good work. Staying plank, we're going to go back for some reach for the toes now. Get the mobility, get warmed up. Reaching back, 6 on each side, guys. Maybe 1 extra because I still can't count. Righto, once you've done those, walk yourself back in. Shake it out a little bit and get those feet a little bit further than shoulder width apart, and we're going to go for some fast feet. Okay, get the arms moving as well, and we're going to do 3 quick squats. You ready? Go. Righto, fast feet again. Keep it up, guys. Keep it up. Here it comes again. And squat. That's it. Beautiful. Fast feet. Keep driving them. Keep driving the arms. That's it. Beautiful. Well done. 3 more. Let's do it. 3 quick squats. Righto. Keep it up. Last one. Fast feet. Drive those feet. You ready? 3 squats. All right, awesome guys. Hopefully you can hear me. Look, in the rest period now, you've got 2 minutes. So basically the idea being, as it's showing on the screen, is that potentially you're at gear 5 where it's mouth in, mouth out. You want to try and concentrate on your breath, make sure that you bring yourself back down to gear 4, nose in, mouth out. And then after 10 seconds or so, you might find yourself back into gear 3, strong nose in, strong nose out. And then work your way back to gear 1 if you want to relax nose in, relax nose out. The idea being now is a really important time. The rest period is where we tend to, like Mel said, forget about breathing and we're high-fiving and stuff like that. Now is where you really want to concentrate on resetting, basically getting that breath back, bringing yourself down through those gears, because hopefully, as you saw with that first round, you crank up through those gears pretty quick. Essentially, with particularly with the pulse squats and things like that, it gets pretty tough. So making sure that you're drawing it in through the nose, blowing it out through the mouth when you get to gear 4, and try and match the tempo of your movement with that breath so that you can maintain it. So enjoy the rest of the rest period. We're going to crank up for another round. The next round is 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off. The same exercises, so really concentrate on that breath work. And try and get yourself through it. 33% of the way through. Go for it, guys. Righto, rest, guys. In through the nose, out through the mouth, or in through the mouth, out through the mouth if you're gassed, but try and bring it back to gear 4 and then to gear 3. Get ready. Pulse squats coming up. Righto, another rest, guys. Suck it in through the nose, out through the mouth. Use these 20 seconds to get yourself back to gear 3 if you can, and then get ready to fire up with some shuffle punches. Game on. Right, rest guys, good work. Well done, 1 to go. Got some burpees to get through and you finished round 2. Good work. Right, let's get ready to rock and roll. Burpees guys. 40 seconds, keep it up. Righto guys, 2-minute rest. Suck it in. Use this as a chance to recover, obviously. Hopefully you're up into gear 5 just now. Hit the peak, in through the mouth, out through the mouth for about 10 seconds, and then work your way back down to gear 4, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and then hopefully back down to gear 3 or 2 or 1. But try to remain relaxed, guys. The key here is to get yourself into a rhythm. As you probably found with round 2, it gets harder. The body starts to fatigue, and that's where linking that breathing with the movement becomes really important. Generally, when we don't think about our breathing is where we fall out of sync, and that's where it becomes really hard. And obviously for us, but also for upper level athletes, they're all focused on performance and getting the most. For us, generally it's about feeling good and feeling powerful and feeling strong and getting through those workouts, so that it has that feedback loop where it motivates us to keep going. So that's where we want to head to, guys, where we're feeling good in those workouts, and that is why it's so important to match the breathing with the movement, not only during the actual workouts, but in the rest period. So keep on your breathing now. Get ready for the round 3, last one. 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Power your way through, guys. Really think about your breathing and give it a real crack. And I hope you're cranking some really good tunes.
You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about.
Righto, let's into it. Jump jacks, guys. 45 on, 15 off. It's going to get tough, but keep breathing and keep going with it. Right, 15 seconds rest, guys. Suck it in through the nose, out through the mouth. 15 seconds, it's only short, so use it while you can, and then get ready for the next one. We've got mountain climbers coming up. Off we go. All right, 15 seconds rest, guys. Use it. Pulse squats coming up, and the pulse squats tend to burn. So use this rest now. Really concentrate on your breathing and get ready for some pulse squats. Here they come. Awesome, guys. Keep it up. Keep it up. Not far to go. All right, rest, guys. Rest now. In through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 2 to go, guys. Use the shuffle punches as a chance to get your breath back if you can. Get ready to go. Have a rest, guys. Nearly there. 1 to go. And then we've got a core burner after. Straight after, guys, we'll get through these burpees and then we'll jump into a core burner. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Get ready to go. Let's do it. Last one, guys. 45 seconds more. That's it, keep it up. Nearly there. Feel a bit of burn right about now, just keep pushing, guys. All right, rest. Done, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, damn. Sorry, guys. I forgot about the core burner. Righto, let's get down and get into it. Righto, guys. Down into plank. I saw someone asked about breathing for plank. Generally, what you want to be doing here, keep that core engaged, push those elbows into the ground, raising the shoulder blades up. And you can basically, if you're not too, obviously doing it right now, straight after a HIIT workout, you're going to be pretty gassed. So you want to continue with your breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then basically, if you can keep that up, keep it up. If you can come back down through the gears. But essentially what you want to try and do is get yourself into a rhythmic breath in through the nose, out through the nose. If you're just doing it straight up where you haven't just come straight out of a workout and you're not gassed, as I said, if you're just doing plank as part of a strength workout at the gym, just get yourself into a rhythmic breathing where you can remain engaged. Flop it over, guys. 30 seconds of bicycle sit-ups. Fully extend those legs, touching the opposite elbow to the opposite knee, keeping that lower back flat on the ground. So keep that core engaged so there's no gap between your hip and your lower back. You want to keep that flat because that's what is going to help with your lower back strength and your core stability. So keep that core engaged and keep that back flat. Keep it up, not far to go, 30 seconds of bicycles, and then we're going to spin it around for another 30-second plank, and that'll finish off the core. Flip it over, guys. One last 30-second plank. Keep that core engaged, push those elbows into the floor, and remember, keep breathing in through the nose, out through the nose if you can, whilst allowing you to keep that core engaged. Hold it. Not far to go. Well done. Smashed it. Pretty much all over now. Almost there, guys. Hold it. Hold it. All right, done. Well done. You bloody beauty. Righto, guys, get some rest. You're done. All right, a bit of a rest period, and then I'm just going to put up now a standard cool down.
All right, well done, guys. I'm going to hand you back over to Mel now to do a bit of a cool down, but I'll throw up a standard sort of cool down that we do with you with some breath work and then a few stretches to make sure that you activate that parasympathetic and get the most out of your workouts. A lot of the benefits you get from your workouts come from your recovery, so make sure you get your nutrition on point and get your recovery in, get your stretches in, get your mobility in, and stay healthy, safe, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
All right, standard cool down, guys. A bit of recovery breathing, and then some 6 to 8 stretches working on both the upper and lower body. But I'll hand you back over to Mel.
Okay. All right. Oh, okay. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. Well, congratulations to all of you guys. I hope you're catching your breath. I hope you feel euphoric. I hope you're high on your own supply, as they say in the breathwork world. And thank you, Chris. You did an amazing job. We're going to do a little bit of, yeah. People are giving you thumbs up, Chris. I know, that was really fun. I was really impressed. I hope everybody feels great. So I'll let you catch your breath a little bit. And I'm just going to lead you through a bit of a guided meditation to be part of your cool down. I always tell this story that in the 80s, when the fitness world was just getting going and there was aerobics in those days, Jane Fonda aerobics, and I used to go to these big gyms and we'd have huge aerobic classes, 40, 50 people, and nobody had ever seen aerobics. This was the beginning of group fitness. This was like late 80s, early 90s. And it was pretty standard that at the end of every workout, there was a stretch, and after the stretch, there was a guided meditation. And that whole guided meditation thing kind of disappeared from the fitness world. So I'm here bringing it back 80s style. So yeah, just kind of, if you want to grab some water and find a comfortable place to lie down, and I'm just going to lead you through a little bit of a guided meditation. After that, we're going to come back and unmute your lines so that you guys can ask any questions or make any comments. And Chris will be here to answer some of those questions. So yeah. Yeah, so we can put on some music. This is a very special piece that seems quite simple that I'm playing. This piece was actually created by Pythagoras, and some of you may know of Pythagoras if you studied geometry in high school, and he made the Pythagorean theorem way back in ancient days. But Pythagoras was a musical alchemist, and he created tones to facilitate certain states. And this particular one is his famous tone. It's 528 hertz. And he created this tone for people to play and listen to when they want to create miracles. He found this to be the tone of miracles. And so now's that time to put his good work to use as the world is ready for a miracle. And you are a miracle. And you are all powered up on your breath, high on your own supply. And let us create a miracle together. And simply just relax. Whether you're lying on a mat, floor, the ground. I'm going to count in some real slow breaths. And just follow. I'm going to count in 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can continue to breathe at that same pace, whether you're counting or just following that pattern. Getting very relaxed. And putting your attention on the music or the tone. Breathing in the sound. And the sounds around you. Going down deeper, letting go, drifting off, down, down, down. And may we all bring the feeling of a miracle in our heart. Maybe you just imagine what a miracle would feel like. Or maybe you've experienced a miracle before and know what that feels like. Maybe you can just imagine what a miracle would feel like. So all of us become this frequency of a miracle. Breathing it in and exhaling that feeling out. What does a miracle feel like? What's the subtle sensation? How does it feel on your skin? What's the color or hues, subtle hues? How does it smell? Is it heavy or is it soft? Is it breezy or is it light? Becoming a miracle. And bringing your wish for the world right now. Into your heart. Letting it explode. Across the world. Showering upon the planet like falling stars. Of healing and love. Your stars are sprinkling everywhere. Our wish for a miracle. Has been made. Let the healing begin. Know that those in hospitals or in need of healing will feel your presence today. Feel free to use this time to breathe more of that love and healing, that miraculous presence of yours out to those people in need. Sending them blessings and hope and knowingness that they can heal. And they feel you now. Let the healing begin. And just rest now, knowing you've created a shift and things will be different now. Just rest. Peace is upon us. You can just begin to wriggle your feet and hands and arms and move as you please. Feeling free to come back. Knowing you've done some good work today for yourself and for the planet. And we thank you. It's been a challenging time for everybody, I know. So, thank you. So I'm glad Chris is here, because maybe he could take a few questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Mel.
Yes, yes. So.
I must admit I had a bit of a shudder when you said Pythagoras. Brought back some grade 8 numbers that I would rather forget. Yeah, happy to take any questions. Whether, I don't know, where's Rita? There's Rita. Do you fire them up through the chat box and I'll answer it? Is that the best way to do it?
Yeah. Do you want to pull this out?
First question, why are you such a legend? Oh, that's a good question, though.
So Chris,
Yeah, so nice.
reading some things out of the chat box. Janie asked about the specific breath work. What type of breathing do you recommend when planking? I think you might have gone through that in the video, but can you go more into what you recommend?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess, I mean, with planking, it's a static movement. So you're not, obviously you're trying to engage both, the anterior and posterior of the body. So it's, I mean, a plank is one of the great stability training exercises, but you're not, dynamic moving. So the breathing itself, I would just recommend trying to stay nose in, nose out, but remembering that the whole idea of that exercise is to keep the core engaged. So it is a good one where you consciously need to engage the body, but also remember to breathe. A lot of people hold their breath during something like that, and that is only going to create a stress response in the body. So I would say, in the context where you're just doing it as part of a strength workout, where the intensity is not so big or so high, stick with nose in, nose out if you can. But off the back of a HIIT workout like that, you're pretty much, your body's still trying to equalize out. So in, straight after like that, you're probably in through the nose, out through the mouth until you can come back down through those gears. But the main point being just remaining engaged. So keeping the core engaged, but consciously breathing as well. Don't hold your breath in that position. So hopefully that helps.
Thanks so much for that question, Janie, and the answer, Chris. And then Janie also had a follow-up question. It was after the workout. It hurts the insides of my nose. Any thoughts on that? And maybe, Janie, if you also want to unmute yourself and ask, or if Tamara can unmute you and ask anything more that you have about that question.
Yeah, I guess we're not used to doing so much breathing in and out through the nose apart from in yoga, but you don't do it as intensely. So I think it was something about the intensity that it was just really painful, like at the kind of like tops of my nose.
Okay. Is it cold where you are?
No. No, it's warm. We're having a little heat wave in London.
Oh,
and
right.
also my living room's like a conservatory.
So it's above 3 degrees, yeah, and the heat wave in London, is that right?
Yeah. It's like 23.
Oh, yeah. Okay. One of the first, like when people go running outside, and if it's fresh, it can sort of hurt the nostrils of all the insides. Yeah, I'm not a doctor, but a bit of constriction in the nose can sort of create that pain. I would say that it may be that, yeah, like you just said, like you're not used to doing it with such intense exercise. Part of the chat that we do at PC, the start of the chat was about development of breathing and becoming better at setting your default state as nose in, nose out. And so we went through about 3 or 4 different exercises to try and help us become more conscious of how the body works and to try and move us towards becoming nasal breathers as our default. So what I can do is send you the notes for that. I think we might just put it up anyhow as a bit of a download and work through those exercises. Whether or not that is a direct fix for the nose hurting during intense exercise, I'm not sure, but I would hazard a guess that the more you do it, the more that your body adapts, and therefore it'll tend to hurt less. But it could be, it could be some form of allergic reaction. There is like a type of reaction that people do have in their nostrils that can cause that. Generally, it's more of a running nose though, so from exercise. But yeah, I don't know.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, I mean, some exercises, just some breathing exercises might help overcome that when you apply it to intense exercise.
Great, thank you.
No worries.
And does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask? Go ahead and unmute yourself and ask Mel or Chris.
I was going to mention that I've done I see in yoga they do a lot with saline solutions, like saltwater solutions, or you can buy saltwater solutions, and that opens up the nose. So I often will do that before any kind of breath work to clean my nose with those solutions. And then there is a whole side of breath work that's about nasal development, really working your nose like a workout. Like you saw that one fighter, that jiu-jitsu fighter, his nose is flared, and it's probably been a long time since we've flared our noses like that, but that's actually a real powerful thing to do, to develop your nose and open it up and clean it out. And yeah.
Rita, do you think the alternating nostril breathing might help at all? So where you're putting, I know it's like relaxing in general, but do you think that would help?
Relax, you can be charging up. Again, it seems like Janie kind of answered the question where she said that she's not really used to breathing so heavily through the nose, because we automatically tend to go from like gear 1 or 2 right to gear 5, where we breathe in and out through the mouth. So it may just be that. Mel may have other answers about what happens with the nose, but I guess it's training your nose.
That's right. I was just going to say, I guess, it's the same as anything. It's the same as, and I guess that's what we covered off in the talk. It's the same as going to the gym and trying to get stronger, or going for a run to, work on the cardiovascular side of fitness. Any type of activity or habit or development needs training. So I guess it's, and as I said, 2 or 3 exercises that you can get into happening consistently can help develop it.
Yeah, and I wanted to, this is not a question or answer, but I just wanted to make a comment. We all enjoyed watching Janie and Gina. They let their video on, and it was really fun to work out with you. It was great fun. It was really amazing. So it'd be awesome next time if people would put their videos on. I mean, you're quite brave to do that, but it makes it so much more fun, and you feel it's such an amazing experience to see people all over the world working out at the same time. So that's fun. Yeah. Now, I wanted to mention, I have a few announcements to make. First of all, I wanted to ask you, Chris, if people ever wanted to work out with you in the future doing breathwork for fitness or anything, do you do any kind of thing online?
I can do. I haven't really done in the past, but absolutely. What I'm trying to do at the moment, I'm not the greatest Instagrammer in the world. I think I've nearly cracked 200 people come on. But I'm working on some little workouts called body bombs, which will be basically short little workouts that people can do. So I can send those to people, or I'll try and put them on Instagram, and people can grab those. Or yeah, absolutely. If anyone wants any support or any help or anything like that, just either email me or you know, WhatsApp or whatever. I will put the contact details up later, I guess. And also, you know, you'll be able to download those things. So yeah, absolutely. Let me know. Easy.
All right. And then we have some events coming up. So next Saturday, we have an online group rebirthing with Rita, which I am so excited about. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Rita, could you tell us any details about that, the times and everything?
Yeah, I am also so excited about it also. We've had a lot of interest in that. And if you did register, we sent out some information yesterday about the calls. Because we're working with so many different time zones, I put it into 2 calls. So if you are in this area, I think everybody here is in Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. It'll be Saturday, 3 p.m. Bangkok time. And it'll be about a 90-minute call. The conscious connected breathing and some meditations and things. If you're in the US, it'll be 3 p.m. New York time. So I'll be waking up at 3 a.m. to do this with great delight. And if you are on the call right now and are interested but haven't yet registered, please go ahead and register, and we'll be sending out again one more newsletter this week to everybody with that registration link, or you can write to me at rita@phuketcleanse.com.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. That's going to be great fun. I would wake up at 3 a.m. for that. I might. So the other thing is, a lot of you guys may remember Sam, who was a life coach with us for many, many years. She's back in Australia now. And many of you may remember her self-love talks. They were always a famous around Phuket Cleanse, and she had a huge following. And so she's going to come on the Sunday call next Sunday. And basically she has read everybody's requests, the kind of things they're wanting to work on. And she's put together a very special talk by combining your requests. And so I'm going to read it because she wrote it so perfectly. Okay, so it's called Optimum Mental Health, Managing Stress and Anxiety During Uncertain Times. The world has been thrown into a huge amount of uncertainty, and with that comes a lot of stress and anxiety. It has never been more important to learn how you can stay mentally healthy and feel a sense of calm amidst the chaos. This talk will take you through a combination of physical and mental tools that you can use every day to reduce your stress and anxiety. She'll discuss which tools would work best for different circumstances, so you can create a personalized toolbox that works best for you. She'll also talk about developing healthy coping mechanisms for anyone who's been struggling with emotional eating and other self-destructive behaviors during this time. So that'll be next Sunday, and that would be at 3 p.m. also, I believe. Is that right, Rita? We'll do it at the same time, at the 3 p.m. time? Yeah. And I have a goal that I won't cry next week. I thought for sure I wasn't going to cry this time like I did last week, but again, I'm so greatly honored to be working with you in this way at this time. It is an honor. And there's Tamara that's on. Many of you remember Tamara. She just jumped on. She's been running the tech here behind the scenes. So, yeah. So I don't know if we want to unmute now, if anyone has anything to say.